Standing at the top of the mountain is every chapter of Space Marine in Ultimate Epic Battle Simulator 2. 25 of each to be exact, from the Imperial Fist to the Legion of the Damned, Salamanders, Blood Angels, all being led by Titus, of course. Over here we have the Soul Drinkers, the Iron Hand, and, of course, the Ultramarines. But beneath them is 7 million zombies, ready to charge up the mountain and feast upon the Space Marine bones. Luckily, there's about 10,000 Death Corps of Krieg ready to sacrifice their bodies for the cause, for the Imperium, as well as a number of Warhammer 40k vehicles in here, including Titans, as well as Armored Sentinels, Warhounds, etc. So a small bit of help for the 200 or so Space Marines at the top of the mountain there. Can the Space Marines and their small peripheral army manage to hold the mountaintop against 7 million zombies that will be charging at them? Let's find out today. Be sure to hit that like button, subscribe, and comment down below who you think is going to win, the zombies or the Space Marines. Let's go ahead and press start right here. We actually have 6.84 million zombies on the battlefield. I guess a few got cut off, probably by the trees and maybe the mountains and things along those lines. But we do have our initial charge going against the middle defense here, the boys on the ground. Now, these guys are quite tough, especially the Titans. I mean, they are pretty devastating. But I think they're going to be essential for this battle, considering how weak the upstairs is there. I mean, Space Marines, don't get me wrong, they are lethal, but having only about 200 of them at the peak there is going to be brutal. So these massive Titans, hopefully being able to stall the zombies for the time being, will seriously help the Space Marines up top. I don't think they'll straight up hold down here. I highly doubt it, in fact, but I'm hoping that they do a decent enough job distracting that it buys the Space Marines up top a lot of time. Here we go. The Death Corps of Krieg is on guard mode, so as the zombies get nice and close, they begin to counter-attack the boyos, and there are our armored vehicles firing away at the zombies below, supporting the Death Corps of Krieg. Now, I do feel as though the Death Corps here is going to not have a very good time either on the battlefield. They're pretty weak. They have, what, 500? Yeah, 500 health, and the zombies have 200 health, so it's like 2.5 zombies per Death Corps trooper. So we're hoping for like 20 to 30,000 kills for these guys, in particular with their combat shovels. However, what's nice is they are going to buy some time for the big explosive damage to come through against these zombies over here. So, you know, they do serve a nice sacrificial purpose for the big boys in the back, the dreadnoughts and whatnot. Now, let's see. The zombies, they are migrating up the mountain now. There's already a bunch of them up there, and we do have a separate path they can take here and over there up. So, you know, they can circumvent the defense downstairs for the time being, and they will pop up right over. I think this path leads here to the Iron to the Imperial Fist. The Iron Hand's over this way. So, it'll be interesting. There they are. They're down below here. What's up, gamers? I'm here to tell you about Instant Gaming. Instant Gaming is an amazing place where you can get some fire deals on all sorts of video games. Seriously, it's like 60 to 95% off, as you can see here. These are all of the Star Wars titles they have. They literally have every Star Wars title. You can also get XCOM here, Men of War Assault Squad 2. All of the games I play on the channel you can buy here for extremely cheap prices. If you use my affiliate link in the description, it helps me out a ton. So thank you guys for listening to this sponsorship, and thank you to Instant Gaming for continuing to sponsor the channel. Here we go, the first of the zombies making it to the peak, but will they survive at the peak? Only time will tell. The first of them just worming their way through here, trying to squeeze through the gaps of the Imperial Fist right there. That's not going to work super well for them. Also, behind them, they've got a whole lot of firepower, so if they do squeeze through these gaps here, they'll probably be killed. Now, the Imperial Fist, I believe, has like 30,000 health apiece. Now, that is why they have such limited numbers up top here, as each soldier is very, very powerful. But constant swarming of zombies taking swings and things like that, and of course having 7 million zombies is going to make it very, 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 very hard to hold the peak here against so many. That's why they have so few, but simultaneously they're all stacked together really nicely, supporting each other, and they're bound to get a lot of kills. In fact, already we're at 77,000 kills for the defenders and 148 kills for the attacking zombies here. You can see the Death Corps of Krieg is the ones getting killed at the moment, but they're actually doing quite well. Strength in numbers. They are kind of out of range of their big boys back here, sadly. So these guys won't be able to help them while they push outwards like this, but hopefully, eventually, you know, more of these Death Corps of Krieg boys will join in on the fray as they get their guard mode activated, and it'll be almost like a little bit of reinforcements up here, if not something at the very least. So we are at 8,390 remaining defenders and 6.74 million remaining zombie attackers. Why don't we go ahead and watch the Death Corps of Krieg for a bit here in time-lapse motion while they're still actually on the battlefield fighting. Well, the Death Corps really wasted no time pushing super far forward here against the zombies. They're doing pretty well, though they are losing troopers now. 1,500 of them, in fact, are already dead on the battlefield, which is pretty crazy. It's not very nice. I do want to go up and see... Oh my god, look at the amount of blood already pouring through here. That's crazy. Hopefully most of it's from the zombies, and it does appear to mostly be from the zombies. They'll have a pretty nice body pile here eventually. I am worried about these guys maybe falling off the cliff from the body pile, pushing them over and taking up too much space. Then we'd have a little fight down here too, I guess. But we want these guys to stay as close together as possible to really try and maximize our damage all as one. That's the goal, at least. Once the defending tanks and stuff down there are dead, then the Iron Hand, as well as the Soul Drinkers and the Ultramarines over here, will be a little bit more involved in the battle. But for now, they're just kind of static while these guys are taking the brunt of the force. But I think eventually we will be seeing the other guys a little bit more involved. Let's go ahead and do a nice overhead time-lapse here, watching the Death Corps of Krieg fighting through the woods now. I think they'll survive for at least a little bit longer. Okay, so the zombies wrapped around the back of the Death Corps Krieg here and are now devouring them. So the Death Corps is going to die pretty soon here. Yikes. We do have some over here still alive, vibing, chilling, very nice. And then, of course, all these guys back here. Oh, look at this. Zombies coming in the flank over this way. Eating up some of these Death Corps troopers who are in final stand for... Look at this guy. He's going ham. Dang. He went down, taking out like 30 zombies with him. Now that man deserves the Emperor's burial. Then over this way, we've got a ton of these guys still fighting too, so it's good to see we're still in action here. I'm sure up top is still fine, pretty much. I'm actually surprised how fast we're getting kills here. 374,000 kills for the defenders thus far. That's crazy. I think it was mostly from the Death Corps, honestly. That is pretty nuts. That is pretty darn nuts. But here we go. The zombies finally kind of getting into the inner circle of the tanks here. I wonder if any will just, like, dip and head up this way, because this is the path up to the top, and just, like, ignore these guys down here. It's entirely possible, but I somewhat doubt that happens. Let's go ahead and watch time-lapsing over here as the tanks defend, because they'll be having the zombies coming up very soon, I'm sure. Well, these guys got pushed around a lot during that time lapse, but look at the body pile they've built. Holy cow. I think it's safe to say every last one of those Death Corps of Krieg soldiers are dead. They are not returning. Let's go to the top, though. Oh, yeah. Oh, mama. Oh, look! The flankers! They are getting up here somehow. How art thou doing this? Oh, there's another path here they can take, apparently. Oh, cool. Okay, so they'll actually be tacking from both sides towards the peak this way. Nice. This is actually really sick. So we got the Space Marines on both sides of the peak now, fully involved in the battle. This guy looks like he is about to fall off. Not good. Not good in the slightest. And... Whoa, sorry, kind of running around everywhere with the camera right now. These guys are not holding quite as well, I would say, as the Imperial Fist, but the Iron Hand's doing alright, I guess. And then, of course, we do have the Ultramarines over this way. We still have 5 million remaining zombies. These guys, we are down to, yeah, just 3 of these tanks. Let's go ahead and, let's watch for a while longer down here. Alright, we're at 3.9 million zombies remaining. I believe the Armored Sentinel actually was alive, by the way, earlier, because I noticed him during the time-lapse, but now he does appear to be dead, I think. I don't see him now, so now it really is just three boyos who are very bloodied. Well, let's go up to the mountain top and see what's up. Alright, up here, I mean, these guys are getting kicked around. It'll be impossible to know if one fell down yet because, I mean, the body pile is so large. So we'll definitely time-lapse up here next. Over here, I think, are taking some losses for these guys, but, I mean, they're just not quite as good of melee units as the Imperial Fist, and also the Imperial Fist is being backed up by the Legion of the Damned, which is another melee unit, so it does make sense. Their close quarters combat over here is doing a little bit better, but on the other side of things, they do have the Ultramarines over here, so that should at least boost them ever so slightly. I think that'll help for sure. Either way, we still have 4 million zombies to go through. Let's go ahead and watch these guys over here. Alright, we're still holding out with 3 million remaining zombies. Oh, it looks like the big boys over this way ended up getting pushed down the mountain a good bit. Interesting. They're still firing away though, so that's good. The body piles are quite high for them. So we are over halfway through the number of zombies at this point. I think if the Space Marines do get the big W here, we're going to run this again without the big boy armored tanks below. Because I am curious to see if they would just win this outright without those boys, because I think they're on trajectory to win this one for sure. So, yeah, that's what we'll do next. Either way, let's keep watching. Alright, so we're at a bit of a lull where no one's really coming up this way. They did kill a few Space Marines over here, just not a ton. They're still holding. Over here, still the main point of contention. And down here, these boys are still holding nicely. The big boys. Look how many kills they could get just by stomping around with their feet. Oi, oi, oi. Brutality, to say the very least. These guys are gods. My goodness. Yeah, I think they'll probably just hold to the end, to be honest. Like, I don't think they're dying against normal zombies. I realized my mistake was that last time when they did die, we were using military zombies. These are just normal zombies, so they probably will just survive to the end. Ay, ay, ay. No bueno. But let's go ahead and continue to watch the defense. Here, there we go. More are finally coming up. Let's watch. You know what, guys? I decided let's just go ahead and see how much health these guys have. Oh my god, they still have 9 million health out of 10 million. They're not dying. They're not dying. Let's run this again without the downstairs boys. I mean, this is an obvious W for them, and that makes it kind of boring. I kind of want to see the upstairs boys. If you do want to see a final stand with just the big boys, we did it with the pyramids against military zombies, and we did secure a W, but a number of them did die. This one, those guys are never dying to regular zombies. I did not realize. Let's run it again with just the upstairs. Alright, here we go, boyos. We're back with our fresh stacks up top. I think this time around, we're in for a battle where I genuinely don't know who's going to come away with the W, because obviously they held very, very nicely last time around, but they had those big mechs down there just assisting the crap out of them. So let's go ahead and time-lapse the start here and watch as the zombies roam on in. Well, so far so good. We're up to 17,000 kills in the last 10 minutes and 6.81 million remaining zombies. I think these guys will likely be the first to die in this whole shebang. And these guys, they're doing great so far. Hopefully they keep it up. Let's watch over here with this going on. Alright guys, count them, 2 Space Marines are dead now. Meanwhile, 77,800 roughly zombies are dead. We got a long ways to go. A very, very long ways to go. We'll do one more time lapse, but then I'm gonna go to bed and we'll find out what happens in the morning. Alright guys, it's been another 30 minutes, and I think that kind of goes to show how long this battle is going to go on for. So I'm going to go to bed. But we still have 6.57 million zombies remaining, 162 Space Marines remaining, with 6 having died up until this point. I expect some big body piles in the morning. I'll see you guys in just a second. Oh my god, it's the next morning and they are still fighting. 71 Space Marines now remain on the battlefield. So, it looks as though the guys over here ended up biting the dust. Even the Ultramarines, very sadly. But it is Salamanders. We got Titus still over here. And the Imperial Fist. I'm also seeing a few Legion of the Damned. I believe it was the Blood Angels who were next to the Salamanders, and they appear to all be gone, vanquished as well. Surprised the body pile is not quite that high, but I guess the body pile down here is pretty high. And yeah, oh, okay, the bodies are just like flowing ever steadily down the mountain. Oh, look at that. Wow. Okay, so instead of like one massive body pile, we have a bunch of them. And this is actually like just an entire side of a mountain of just dead zombies, actually. So that is quite a number of dead zombies. That's nuts. But the Space Marines are about halfway through the zombies at this point. Of course, we'll keep the battle going, so let's watch. Alright boys, that was about 30 minutes, was playing some Pokopia, and it looks like we're still holding 98 dead Space Marines now, still 70 remain, and still 3.16 million zombies. Let's just go ahead and let it ride for a while, because this is still going to be a long one. Alright boyos, it's been a few more hours and the zombies continue to march on up here. They've gotten a few more kills, but we are sub 1 million zombies now. 64 Space Marines remain, so it appears as though they will be able to hold the top of the mountain, more than likely. Unless all goes to heck right now. Although these guys still have solid amounts of health, I will say. Some of them are a little weaker, but they're holding pretty nice. Titus is still chilling. He's vibing. He's having a good time. Uh-oh. I just attracted a ton of zombies to him. He'll be fine. He'll be fine. There we go. He gets those kills. Beautiful, baby. So, why don't we do another time lapse here and watch the zombies continue to come through. It's been another half an hour. We're at 761,000 zombies now. I'm just gonna let this play because it could take another like 2 hours or something. And I don't want to run out of storage space or anything like that. So let's just let it run now. Oh my god, it's been another hour and we're still at 500,000 zombies remaining and 59 Space Marines. Okay. I'll let it ride. I just want my computer back at some point, so like I go edit a thumbnail and putz about, but hopefully more die. But I mean, this is like a guaranteed Space Marine W, but it's just taking forever. Alright guys, it's been another 3 hours. There's only 250,000 zombies remaining, still 54 Space Marines remaining, so I think this is a guaranteed W for the Space Marines. The final act to stop the zombie apocalypse. So guys, I hope you did enjoy this video. Please be sure to hit that like button if you did, subscribe if you have not already, and comment down below if you'd like to see some more Ultimate Epic Battle Simulator 2 in the future. Either way, there is just fields of bodies down here. It is absolutely insane. I'll see y'all in the next one. Peace. I hope you guys enjoyed that video. Be sure to click that subscribe button for more content, and hit the notification bell if you'd like to be alerted to whenever I live stream or upload. Thanks so much.